and that's the way that this has progressed to this point. And I'm delighted to be able to be back here at Kim's house again. It's a wonderful space for us, we artists, and under your direction, the centre flourishes. So thank you. I want to say just briefly thank you to Ross for getting me to the church on time.
Always an appetizer.
And I want to say thank you to my wonderful family, my daughters Cara and Mimi. It's wonderful to be able to be here with you both. Cara's back from London just before she leaves us again to go to Dubai. Mimi's just come out of the studio where she's nearly finished mixing her final tracks on her debut CD, which we're all desperately waiting for. My sisters, Barbara, Margie and Heather, and my lovely cousin Kathy and all, who have helped out this evening with all of the wonderful catering and food that we're enjoying so much. And so we turn to the work. I don't know really much whether there's much I need to say about it. I think it all probably speaks for itself. It's a bit of a change of pace for me. I guess if you've seen some of my work in the past, you'll realise I've sort of pointed the camera upwards rather than downwards. But it's funny. These are the landscapes that I just really love coming back to because they give you so much scope, I think. I mean, you might call them blank canvases, you might call them featureless. Some people call them featureless landscapes, but I don't think that's true. I think they're open to one's interpretation, and it's the light that makes the difference to them. They change on a minute-by-minute, hourly, seasonal basis. So wander around, have a look and enjoy them. There's a mixture of some quite new images, some that have been around for a little while when this idea of this show started to take shape, and some others in between that sort of seem to fit neatly into this little group. But I have also tonight a little more serious note to talk to you about. In March last year, Australian photography lost one of its leading practitioners. Richard Millott passed away unexpectedly, and while I was planning this show, I thought perhaps of remembering Richard at this occasion, and very kindly Tina, Richard's wife, has graciously accepted the offer to dedicate this volume of work and this exhibition to Richard's memory. Richard and I worked together for probably over 40 years, if I was really honest with myself. He started off as Brian Brand's assistant at church in Chapel Street, and I was Chris's assistant art director at NDA back in those days. Richard and I sort of developed, and our careers moved together in different pathways. We went away a lot of times on shoots together. We did some terrific stuff, and Richard's great talent was for making the extraordinarily difficult demands of a picky art director work out, and the shots always just look perfect. He had such a way with his technical experience. His easy-going, sunny disposition made him a delight to be with and to work with, and everything just fell into place with Richard. Later on, when I left working as a art director and started my own business, I started then to shoot professionally, and Richard continued talking to me, working with me, because by this stage he'd moved into his studio in Richmond, and I was shooting there for my clients on a very regular basis. And And so Richard would always come out there with his big sort of friendly presence, saying, come in, have a cup of coffee, and the dogs would be there barking around. And it was always just such a pleasure to work at the studio and to talk about photography sometimes and talk about music most of the time. So look, there we are. I'm honoured to be able to take this opportunity to remember Richard with this exhibition this evening, and I do thank you all for coming, and welcome, and enjoy yourselves and have a wonderful evening.